That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
We are live right now. And we have one viewer, and I think it's Lee, but that's okay. What's up, everybody? It's Delray Boston, Sean Weymouth. I'm with my friend here, Madish like a radish. Lee, last name first on Twitter. What's going on? We are doing a live Thursday Night Football watch-along as the Dolphins hand off the ball, and Myles Gaskin goes for another -1 yards. That's awesome. But we're here to do this Thursday Night Football watch-along and talk about some DFS values. So what's going on, Lee? How's things going? How was your week 9? Because I can tell you mine was a disaster.
Week 9 was miserable, as across the fantasy board. The games you thought were going to be high scoring, the games you thought things were going to happen, and they certainly didn't. Some of the lowest scoring games I've put up, even in not only DFS but in regular fantasy last week. So I'm hoping for some good bounce back week. And I cannot believe that Tua is not in this game.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier. You said that Tua was available in the case of emergency. I think that the Dolphins should break glass now. It is an emergency. Yes. Get him in.
Yeah, sound the alarm. Absolutely.
And, and one thing that we also talked about in our article today on RealDealFantasyHQ.com when we previewed this game, when we were talking about dart throws, one of the dart throws we mentioned was Isaiah Ford, normally a kick returner. But guess what? Keep him in your player pool because Jacoby Brissett's going to be in. We don't know who's going to get passes. 15 guys got passes last week.
And guess who is holding his knee? He's holding his knee.
Oh, here we go. Tua's coming in. Tua's coming in.
We might have our emergency.
Here it is.
Oh, my goodness. It might be Tua time. Oh, man. Here he is. Put that helmet on, baby.
Yes.
All right. So, oh, my goodness.
Well, we saw him clapping, so we know his hand's not broken because you can't clap with a broken hand.
That's a fact. He was a very vigorous clap he was giving out.
Yeah, it was no golf clap. It was a solid.
Yeah, Jacoby's out.
Jacoby's all done. Jacoby's all done. So while we're in commercial break on Thursday Night Football, we are also here talking about DraftKings value plays for Week 10. So maybe we should jump right into a little bit of that right now. Have you taken a look at the slate? Do you have any thoughts immediately coming out when you're looking at the slate on where we might be able to find some value coming into this week?
Yeah, I mean, we talked before we got on the air about quarterbacks and how really there's no value to really spend down on the quarterbacks. The value mark to get for them is in that 6,000 to 7,000 range,
right?
With the top guys, Kyler up at 8,000, Josh Allen at 79, and Brady at 76. So maybe the values that we're going to be looking at are going to be more in the running back, the wide receiver department, definitely in tight end, as
for sure.
A bunch of cheap tight ends as we love out there. But we're this is a week where I'm probably going to be paying up for maybe one of those top 3, maybe one of those top 5 quarterbacks and spending up there. Good.
It's ugly, right? Like we have Kyler at the top, but when you get down and dirty here, really the line is, for me, it's here. Carson Wentz, right? At 5,900 against Jacksonville. But then after that, look at this. Ben, Teddy, Taylor, Baker, Trevor, Mack. I mean, I don't want to play any of these guys. All due respect, but I certainly don't want to play Ben Roethlisberger. I don't think he's crossed double-digit fantasy points in 5 straight weeks. And Teddy Bridgewater, we don't know what kind of Teddy we're going to see. Taylor against Tampa Bay, I guess. It's like this. It's just a cliff. It literally is a cliff.
Yeah, I mean, down there's only one guy that we talked about. You had mentioned before we came on the air. And that's if we get some news that Taysom Hill is going to be the starter. Then maybe we consider him at 5,200 against a very capable or very beatable Tennessee defense. And with his abilities, he's always a threat at the goal line. He could get you a top end quarterback day, even without giving you high passing numbers. But absolutely, I'm not going to pay down, very, very much on any of my, lineups this week, when it comes to quarterback.
No, I mean, and the thing is, so we got the news PJ Walker's going to start. Cam Newton signed with the Panthers, but he's not going to play this weekend, so it's going to be PJ Walker at $5,000. I mean, if you want to do it, good luck against Arizona. I can't speak to, I mean, against Arizona, I just can't speak to it, right? And it's so ugly, and so I think we're on the right path by saying, in actuality, we're going to talk values this weekend. We got to start at other positions and then kind of save up,
right,
for quarterback. So, hey, the game's back on, by the way. If you're watching along with us, we're at 13, 53, 52, 51. Off goes Lamar. Here we go. He's getting a first down. Nice job, Lamar. Here we go. So maybe the Ravens are picking up steam here.
It'd be nice to see some offense in this game, as it's I mean, this would be, constituted as a boring football game, unfortunately. But it's
and I'm going to say this, and this is meant with all due respect to the sir, but when the headline is Isaiah Ford leads all players in fantasy points in a half of football, you know that there's something wrong here. So
right, our community is going to consider this a boring game, that's for sure. Not a lot to speak about, not a lot of highlights, and watching Le'Veon Bell here, take this handoff and
there we go. There he goes. There he goes. When that looks good, when that is the goal line and not the line of scrimmage.
Right there.
Yeah. Well, so, Jacoby's back up. Jacoby's back up, buddy. Oh, he's running.
He's taking a shot. But so as far as the values go for quarterbacks, this week, last week I played Dak Prescott in the Millionaire Maker. And obviously it didn't go too well.
Yep.
He got some 2 cheap touchdowns late in the game, but realistically didn't have the type of game that I expected him to have.
Yep.
This week when he's a little, back at home, we got the Atlanta defense coming in, which certainly doesn't scare me even a little bit.
No.
With Dak Prescott at 6,900, if I'm looking to pay down a little bit from one of those top guys, maybe save $1,000 or so.
Yep.
That's somebody who I'm looking at. Maybe he could be the top scoring quarterback.
Yeah, I'm with you. On that. I will be honest with you. In that same game, I don't mind Matt Ryan at 6,000. He's been serviceable last 3 weeks. If I'm not mistaken, he was quarterback 1 in week 9. And yeah. Oh, here we go.
Magic there. Almost Lamar magic.
Oh man.
Almost.
By the way, I want to also call out to something else we talked about, and it's something that I've noticed over the last couple of years. Northern teams have trouble going to Florida to play games in November. Even if they were in a 60-degree game last week, or they practiced in 60-degree weather, now they're in humidity. I'm telling you, it's a real thing. We saw it with Buffalo last week. We're seeing it with Baltimore right here. It is a real thing. It's like that. What kind of hoodoo do you do? Humidity, right? Like, and that's what I think. That's a big piece that nobody talks about, but I think it's a real thing, and we're literally witnessing it right now on Thursday Night Football, I think.
So, I mean, if you're going to have anything, it's going to have the opposite effect of Mile High, if you would, where everything's heavy down there, to whereas in Mile High, where everything's light, the air is light, you can't breathe, down there, you just got everything weighing you down, the moisture in the air, the ball's not traveling as far, just it's a different ball game down there. The ball's probably even a little heavier, down there with all the, the dense air. But,
the story I relayed in the article, I touched on it, but I believe it was the Brady Super Bowl year where they came back on the Falcons, the 26-3 at halftime year, 28-3. Earlier in that season, they were playing a game in Denver, and Belichick smartly went to Denver a week early, and they practiced all week in the elevation, right?
Yeah.
But then the following week they were going to Miami, and for some reason they decided to stay in Denver, and there was a snowstorm in Denver. Okay. So then they leave the snowstorm to go to 90-degree heat in Miami, and guess what? The Dolphins wiped the floor with them. So I really think there's a little bit of truth to this, that northern teams late in the do not play well in Florida. Just a theory. Just a theory.
I don't hate it. What I do hate is Matt Ryan, because I have this list here. and Matt Ryan is on it.
Okay.
So therefore, you play him all you want. No, again, I can't hate the Matt Ryan. I mean, Mr. 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. He's just very consistent. And, if you're going to pay down, he could be looking to keep up with Dallas. And we could be looking at a game where maybe he gets you 350, 3 TDs, maybe two picks. But he still gets you a very positive return on value.
Don't forget, we're going to get to wide receiver, and we can talk about the miracle worker, Almighty Zacharias. Yes. So, and he does play for the Atlanta Falcons. So I think what we were talking about, though, was saving up for quarterback, right? And that might be the theme of this value show, is saving up for the top guys at quarterback. And the first place I got to point out is just unbelievable. Tight end this week on DraftKings. Your tight end price number 1 is Kyle Pitts at 5,800. That's it. That's as high as you could possibly go to pay for a tight end. And if you're going to be saving up for quarterback, I think this is the spot that you start to look, because as soon as you think to yourself, the most expensive tight end is at 5,800, like, it drops off really fast. Dawson Knox, by the way, cleared to come back, returned to practice today. He'll practice tomorrow. 4,500 in a game against the Jets, right? Like, now that's a great value if you have Gronk. Travis Kelce at $7,000, or Darren Waller at 6,900, or Mark Andrews at 6,900. But when you're talking about 4,500 Dawson Knox, I can't do it because there's so many other tight ends that are so much cheaper. You know what I mean? That could have a great opportunity. You know what I mean?
I agree. And I love the fact that we're starting, the show off with tight ends, and just watching, Tua in here completing his first pass to Jalen Waddle. Instant boosted value to Jalen Waddle. Instant, just look at how much better this offense is going to perform. They're going to score a touchdown on this drive. They're going to score a touchdown on this drive. Watch this.
Yeah, we got to get Gesicki going. We got to get Gesicki going here. All due respect to Adam Shaheen, but we got to get Gesicki going. So let's see what the Tua can do here.
Let's see what happens.
All right, this is exciting. We've got a man in motion. Oh, handoff.
1 yard Miles Gaskin run.
Handoff Gaskin. Yeah, another 1 yard. 1 yard. He's chipping away at the 100 yards 1 yard at a time. That's what he's doing.
As we were talking about, tight ends. So I love that we're starting off with tight ends. Tight ends is, in my opinion, the greatest value play that we can have. You talk about how low the top guy is already priced. Some of the values that we play, and realistically, these are guys who are getting us points in the wide receiver 3, kind of range. Sometimes even the wide receiver 2 kind of range. We talk about my boy Pat Freiermuth.
There he is.
What a game he had last week.
Awesome game.
Awesome coming game. In now at 3,900. Can we get this man priced up into the top 7, tight ends yet, or what?
Yeah. Tua just completely missed everything in front of him, by the way.
Everything in front of him. He sure did.
He's got a broken hand. The poor guy.
He's got a broken hand. He was worried about taking that hit.
He is right here. He's like, oh, my hand.
But 6 targets last week. Chase Claypool's a little bit banged up. Against Detroit. Detroit's a defense that, to give up yardage and points to just about anybody who wants them. And Pat Freiermuth is really taking a role in this offense, and he's running with it. And somebody who's going to get 6 targets and somebody who's going to be operating in the field of 10 to 15 yards downfield, where Ben Roethlisberger, I'm more confident in him throwing the ball, and it's unfortunate we're not going to fill out that touchdown on this drive prediction, but getting Pat Freiermuth in there at 3,900, even possibly as a flex play here. I absolutely love him coming in this week against Detroit.
I have breaking news.
Uh-oh.
Yep. According to the Sleeper app, team doctors cleared Jacoby Brissett to come in and return, but Brian Flores stopped him from coming in. He instructed Tua, who is dealing with a fractured finger, to go in and give it a go, quote unquote. There you go. Breaking news.
Apparently, Jacoby Brissett was not happy.
And by the way, the sleeper app, the fantasy football I was talking about all the time, the sleeper app, I cannot talk about it enough. All the time has up-to-date news. I don't know how they do it. So if you don't have the sleeper app, download it now and turn the notifications on if you are a football fan. All right. You know what's interesting about Freiermuth, though? The correlation to Juju Smith-Schuster going out and Freiermuth, becoming a thing. And the only thing I'm concerned about a little bit is what happens when Eric Ebron comes back. Does Freiermuth maintain his occupancy in that role, or what happens there? That's just a general question to ask.
Sure, and I think Ebron takes kind of a backseat there. This is, you want to talk about guys who take their opportunity when an injury happens and they run from it.
Mm-hmm. Run with it, not from it.
Not from it.
Ebron from it. Freiermuth with it.
Yes, and you're going to have Ebron who's going to still run in those two tight end sets, and there are going to be times where he spells, Freiermuth as well. He's going to be the guy who's going to be playing 75% of the snaps at the tight end, maybe 80% of the snaps at the tight end.
Yeah,
and that's something I want. I don't think it's going to go away.
No, and whenever I think of Ebron, I think of his entire life. People being like, Ebron, Ebron, come on. Anyway. How about our friend, your friend of mine, a good friend of everybody's, Mr. Dan Arnold?
Yes.
Getting peppered with targets down in Jacksonville up against the Indianapolis Colts at only 3,500. Love that one.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things I love about Dan Arnold is he is probably a 25% to 30% target share, in that offense.
Mm-hmm.
And that target tree is so slim, to whereas we have, Marvin Jones, we have Dan Arnold, and we have Jamal Agnew, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Nobody else really is getting targets. And if Trevor Lawrence is going to be dropping back and throwing the ball 30 times a game, Dan Arnold is going to be set up for, 10%, 10 targets that game. So I'm going to feel pretty good at a guy at 3,500 against Indy, who's, who has been struggling against tight ends, or I'm going to want a little piece of that. Dan Arnold at 3,500, man. Go ahead. Let's keep rocking him all year. He's been dancing around 10 points. Let's get a 15-point Dan Arnold game. Let's get him in the end zone. Has he scored yet this year?
Let's take a look at the log here. I didn't see that he had scored, but seeing let's see. Okay, so
no touchdowns.
7 targets against Buffalo, 10 against Seattle, 5 against Miami, 8 against Tennessee. That's just too much all in a row to ignore. But no, I don't see any touchdowns in there. But you also got to look at the routes that he's running. He's not necessarily running the high value route. He's running more like that. The possession type routes. I think he's definitely taking a lot from Laviska Shenault. And I know that Marvin Jones, I do think Marvin Jones is a sneaky play this week against Indianapolis, though. I will tell you that.
Sure. Yeah. With a longest reception this year at 28 yards, he's really not getting a lot of that. But here's where I would like to see them, being able to move the ball against Indianapolis this week. And maybe Dan Arnold getting some red zone looks, whereas he's gotten some red zone looks so far this year, but the Jacksonville offense just hasn't been able to convert.
What about the Conk, Tyler Conklin, up against the Chargers, who surprisingly great against wide receivers, not great against tight ends. Another guy, 7 targets last week. What do you think about the Conk?
Yeah, great opportunity. As the Chargers have a very good pass rush, which allows for the great pass by Lamar right there, or great catch, I should say, by Bateman.
Yes.
So, as they have a good pass rush, you tend to want to get the ball out of your hands quicker, whereas the tight ends tend to be, where you're going to target there. So Tyler Conklin coming in, I believe Bosa did end up on the injury report this week, which, if for some reason he ends up missing the game, perhaps maybe we like the Minnesota, wide receivers a little bit better, with Kirk Cousins having a little bit more time. But if he does play, Tyler Conklin, he could be looking at a 6-7 target game. and get you that 10 points. If he gets in the end zone, 15 points, type of game this week.
Back-to-back games, 7 targets. Back-to-back games, 5 catches, 3,400. I think that's an awesome place to start your lineup. We're going to go even deeper, though, on tight end here. What about our friend down here? Where is he? We're talking about him earlier. Cameron Brate and O.J. Howard. These two fellas here at 2,700 in a game where we got probably no Chris Godwin, probably no Antonio Brown, and Gronk is also not practicing. We'll see if he practices tomorrow. But what do you think about this opportunity here at 2,700 each? Brate and Howard. I think Brate is the better play of the two, just because of historically and Tom Brady's got a thing for Cameron Brate.
Yep.
But that being said, O.J. Howard is an athletic freak, so in a game that they might be really down on receivers. I think that these two are great plays at 2,700.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And if Gronk is to miss this game, I definitely am going to have one of those guys in just about every lineup that I have. Do I think both of them could have some success in this game? Absolutely. If Gronk does miss this game, not having Chris Godwin, not having Antonio Brown again this week, we could be looking at, those tight ends each getting 5 to 6 targets, especially in the red zone, as the defense could really gear themselves to take away Mike Evans, which really leaves them, the tight ends to really roam around the middle of the field. And Tom Brady loves his tight ends. He loves his 2 tight end sets. So they're both going to be out there a ton. They're both probably going to be running a fair amount of routes. And at 2,700, it doesn't take a lot for you to get, the return on that value there.
Yeah, and we'll talk about it later. But if there's no Chris Godwin, no Antonio Brown, no Gronk, another value in the running back room is Giovanni Bernard, pass catching running back. I think he'll be out there a lot, and we'll see a lot of him running routes as a receiver. Another guy I want to bring up here. The name was mispronounced literally the entire game. It's not Parham, it's Parham. Parham, right?
Yes.
But this is just it's a touchdown or bust play, but more often than not, Parham, not Parham, finds himself in the end zone with a touchdown in his hands, and no one ever plays him. 2,500. This is pretty low. If you really want to punt a tight end, you could probably do worse.
Sure. Yeah. Not much else to say about that. He's one of those guys who, you could be expecting a big Jared Cook game, and then all of a sudden he ends up with 3 targets, 2 touchdowns type of game.
Yeah, and it's too bad his name isn't actually Parham, because when he goes ham, you know what I mean?
Insert sandwich jokes.
But then the best part is if he just scores a touchdown every week, and then all of a sudden he scores 2, then we could say, oh, he's 1 over par, right?
There you go. So it's a ham and TD sandwich.
He's literally a walking pun. All right,
yes,
all right. So another place we always like to spend down on, now that let's lock in one of these guys. Let's just see what it can do for our salary. So the other guy, sorry, we should have mentioned Albert O. Unfortunately, could not play much of that game in a great opportunity. He's actually got a better opportunity this week in the dead last Philadelphia Eagles against tight ends, the 32nd worst team in the league against tight ends. Albert O, can he stay healthy for us and get out there, even if Noah Fant makes his return from COVID?
Yeah, another team that is terrible at defending the middle of the field, which is why the tight ends tend to, pop off against them. I think it's just the whole entire NFC East just does not have the linebackers to cover tight ends. Yeah, I think ultimately that's the problem. But yeah, here's another guy. If he's out there and he's playing, great opportunity. He's probably going to find himself in some open territory, and he could be end up some targets with, Tim Patrick possibly hobbled this week.
Yeah.
Cortland Sutton, kind of putting on lock by Darius Slay Jr.
Yeah.
That leaves Alberto to catch, all the targets, and another guy I'll talk about later, Jerry Jeudy, to also, also to roam roam the field.
I'm just saying 3,300. I know Noah Fant's going to be likely back. 3,300 just too cheap. But let's lock somebody in here on tight end. Let's just see how it goes. Excuse me for burping. That Coors Light just tastes so delicious. Where do you want to go here? Just to land in and see how it affects our lineup. Do you want to try one of these Tampa Bay guys, or what do you think?
Cameron Brate in there.
Okay.
2,700.
$2,700 Cameron Brate is in the lineup right now. So now we always like to go another place here to find some value, and that's DST. So we will go backwards here and let's look at DSTs. Your most expensive one is still 4,100. It's been 4,100 the last 3 weeks on DraftKings. So immediately we can come down. But who do you like in this match in this week 10 here? We got Steelers at the top, and we got the Washington football team against Tampa Bay at the bottom. So where are we meeting?
Yeah, so I mean, if I'm gonna pay down somewhere, I'm gonna take my chance that if Aaron Rodgers for some reason is last second ruled out due to the COVID, I might entertain Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm going anywhere down there, a sneaky play would be Carolina if Kyler Murray does not play. I know Colt McCoy looked great this week. But Carolina does have a capable defense, and they can make a problem for Colt McCoy.
Yeah, I got to tell you, defense that I think is playing exceptional football right now against a team that we're not 100% sure what they're going to do. I don't mind the Titans at all. 2,600 against New Orleans. Titans at home, by the way. New Orleans outside the Superdome. No voodoo to cast. I got to be honest too. After we saw the Jaguars last week, no, I can't play the Jaguars. I'm just kidding. But I'm not hating on Detroit either.
No,
because outside of Najee Harris, I mean, the Pittsburgh Steelers offense just Najee Harris and Freiermuth. Okay, those are your two guys. And Deontay Johnson's going to get a bunch of targets. We know that, but I mean, it just doesn't look like a great offense. And I wouldn't mind taking a stab at the Lions at 2,300.
Yeah, I mean, here you could certainly imagine Ben Roethlisberger underthrowing somebody on a crossing route and having it taken the other way for 6. That's certainly within the realm of possibility. With that being said, you mentioned the Jaguar defense. Why wouldn't they be able to do due to Carson Wentz what they did to Josh Allen last week? More importantly,
I do have that answer, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, boy, go ahead. By all means.
Yeah, the answer to that question is Jonathan Taylor.
Jonathan Taylor, yes.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor is going to control the clock in that game the way that the Bills don't like to run the football. Sure. The Colts love to run the football.
Sure.
So I'm gonna say that Jonathan Taylor is going to open up a lot of things for Carson Wentz in that game that were not available to Josh Allen. I got to ask you a question here, and I know the answer to this, but what about the Browns against the Patriots?
Now, I think the Patriots are going to win this game. I don't think, especially if, and I do believe that Nick Chubb is going to be out this game. I don't think we're going to get the magic of Dearness Johnson that we had once upon a time, and I think Dearness Johnson is going to be a very chalky play this week.
Yep.
If not the most chalky play, of running backs. Honestly, I think the Patriots defense against Cleveland, I'd feel a little bit more comfortable about than playing Cleveland's defense against Mac Jones, who he's not playing very, poorly. And more importantly, he's not really turning the ball over.
It was a trick question. You answered it correctly. The Patriots will win that game because I will be at that game.
Ah, yes. Yes, so, you will, and you will celebrate.
Yes. Although I did get the ticket so I could see Nick Chubb play, and Nick Chubb would not play. So, yay. But anyway, moving on. Let's lock a defense in. Let's lock a defense in as we're watching the third quarter tick down. What is with the sidearm all night with Lamar with the sidearm?
I don't know what it is. Maybe he's got a shoulder injury. But Mark Andrews catching the ball with his legs there. Hanging on to it. So I don't mind the Titans defense call. If Taysom Hill does play though, I probably wouldn't want to play the Titans defense.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't hate the Lions. I don't hate the Jaguars if we want to pay down and really save up money for elsewhere.
Yeah.
As weird as it's going to sound, watch out for the Eagles defense this week. As the defense, the Denver Broncos really, coming off that high, last week. It's a good chance that they could lay an egg, coming out this week, and the Eagles defense could be the beneficiary of it.
Yeah, they could burn out. But I you know what? I'm really liking this Lions call against terrible Big Ben.
Yep.
At 2,300. So now we are saved up to 64.28.
Delicious.
So now we're really going to go backwards. We're going to find delicious. So we're really going to find a wide. We're going to start with wide receiver value. So we'll go our wide receiver 3 pick. So when you start at the wide receivers 2, you're going to notice that Devontae Adams is under $8,000 in a matchup against Seattle, likely to have Aaron Rodgers back. Crazy cheap for that guy. If I'm not mistaken, they did not adjust his pricing at all when Jordan Love was announced, and last week he was at $9,000. So big cut down. And then you got AJ Brown is your wide receiver 2, and Justin Jefferson is your wide receiver 3, and Terry McLaurin is your wide receiver 4. Why I'm saying all of this is because you'll notice really quickly that the majority of wide receivers in this entire slate sit in this range, about 6,600 to about 44,000. Michael in 4,000 right here. Michael Gallup is coming back, so I would literally put it right here, and all of these guys are in play when you look at all these names. So we'll start at 6,400. You got Michael Pittman Jr. at a ridiculous 6,300 after back-to-back wide receiver 1 games. What's happening?
Yep. And just one of those situations where DraftKings just refuses to price a guy up. Maybe it's a component of that offense. Maybe it was C.Y. Hilton, possibly coming back.
Not coming back. Yeah, coming back and
not coming
leaving,
back anymore, and coming back and leaving. But for some reason, this is a guy who, he's the number 1. He's gonna get that 30% target share, on that offense. We talk about it's an offense that runs the football a lot, but when they take their shots, they're taking their shots with Michael Pittman. When they're looking to move the chains on third down, they're looking at Michael Pittman.
Yes, and I think one of the reasons why I'm not trying to cut you off, but one of the reasons I really wanted to highlight this is because we just talked about Marvin Jones, who I think is a sneaky good play this weekend against Indianapolis for what it's worth. But look at Marvin Jones over the last 2 weeks and look at Michael Pittman over the last 2 weeks, and then realize that DraftKings is only separating these two guys by $500. So it really is a week where you can just immediately look and find value in plays that I think you're going to want to play. If there's no DeAndre Hopkins, Christian Kirk here at 5,500. You just talked about Jerry Jeudy in that Philadelphia game, 5,300. We know now that Odell's not going to New Orleans. He's going to L.A. Marquez Callaway against the dead last Tennessee Titan defense, 5,100. Donovan Peoples-Jones looking to be the heir apparent on that X-receiver thing in that offense against the Patriots, 4,800. You think the Patriots are going to try and shut down Donovan Peoples-Jones, or are they going to try and shut down Jarvis Landry? Which one do you think they're going to key on? My point is that there's so much value to be found here. Yep. I think you could actually, pay down at 2 spots in wide receiver, pay up, go up to the Devontae Adams to the AJ Brown range.
Yep.
And then pay down at running back 2 and pay up at running back 1 and quarterback. And I think you could really build a solid lineup. So let's get going here. Where do you want to start with wide receivers? What are you seeing?
So, I mean, we'll start up, a little bit towards the top.
Okay.
When we talk about paying up, for the, for the wide receivers this week, or paying up for quarterbacks, pardon me. And I got a little distracted from a Myles Gaskin catch and run.
Yeah, there he goes.
Slipped a little bit there towards the end, but, here we go to, moving the ball around.
Yep.
So we talked about paying up, at the wide receiver position. I'm going to be big on the Cowboys this week. I'm going to find a way to get CeeDee Lamb into my lineups. At $7,000. I know, it's not going to, fit kind of into that value range, but he's the guy I'm looking at as far as the number 1 wide receiver for the week.
Can I show you something though?
By all means.
CeeDee Lamb at 7. Here's Amari Cooper at 6,200. Okay. And then we just talked about it. Michael Gallup is coming back.
He sure is.
Off of the IR. They've already announced it. He's practicing. He's coming back at 4,000.
I will have one of these lineups.
Okay, now I just want to point this out. The Dallas Cowboys that you want to focus on, by playing all 3 Dallas Cowboys and using those value prices, our average remaining player salary actually went up from when we just had Cameron Brate and the Lions in this lineup.
Look at that.
Now, let's just play this out. Okay.
Obviously,
you want to put Dak in here, right?
Yep.
Okay. So let's just take Dak. All right. Now, if I'm playing this lineup, I'm running it back. We haven't even gone into running back yet, but we're just going to play this lineup out and see how we go. Come on. There he is.
Tua launches one downfield. Look at that.
Big throw. Who is it?
Jalen Waddle. Who else?
All right, so now listen, we have Dak Prescott in here. We got Cordell Patterson in here. Very exciting play by Tua. That looks to be about
35,
41 yards.
Yeah.
Great play. Jalen Waddle goes up and gets it. What a difference a day makes. What a difference a play makes. A playmaker makes. Jacoby Brissett was throwing to Isaiah Ford. That helps no one, as they used to say on the NFL Network. Jalen Waddle, great catch and run. Great catch down the field right there. Okay, so while that was going on, we have built this DraftKings lineup. We got Dak Prescott there, and we got all 3 of his receivers there. I threw Cordell Patterson in. To me, that's the most logical run back you could do in the Atlanta offense. And now we have $7,150 left to have some fun with here. Now, I'm just going to say this to you. What if we went nuts and instead of Dak, we went some value here to your friend and mine, your friend mainly, Matt Ryan, and stacked him with Cordell Patterson. Now we got 7,600 left. Why is this number important, my friend? Why is this number important?
Well, who are you trying to get to?
Because look at where the running backs start at. Your most expensive running back is 8,400 Christian McCaffrey.
Yep.
Jonathan Taylor, who is without question the number 1 running back right now in the league with Derrick Henry out, is 8,100. Dalvin Cook against the Chargers, the run funnel Chargers, is only 8,000. Here's why I'm trying to say, what does 7,600 mean? It means a lot. It means you could do a lot.
Sure does.
Right? So look, Austin Eckler, he's 7,600 exactly right now. I mean, it's weird. These prices are so weird.
Yeah. And I'd probably even pluck Cooper out of that lineup if we were going to pluck, Matt Ryan in there.
Okay.
But to go away from that, and that doesn't affect our price too much, but just to give us an idea of what we're looking to fill out, you got over $7,000 to fill on 3 more skill positions.
Right.
Those are studs that you're getting.
Right.
Those are target monsters. Those are carry monsters. Those are guys you want to play because they have the highest upside.
Right. So
let's look at that.
So now let's play devil's advocate here, and let's throw Jonathan Taylor in at running back.
Don't hate
and
it.
At wide receiver, let's play the guy I just keep talking about, who I think is going to be criminally under-owned this weekend and have a good game, Marvin Jones.
Mm-hmm.
And we're stacking this game in the middle of this Atlanta and Dallas game. And now we have 7,500 left in the flex. And
I swear, Albert Wilson, what does he have? Like 5 carries this game? Like, it's insane.
They love him. They love him. And by the way, $400, great value play mentioned in the Real Deal Fantasy HQ Thursday Night Football preview show. Just want to point that out. $400 Albert Wilson, 5th carry of the night. All right, so we have 7,500 to build to get a flex out of, right? Who do we got?
Who don't we have?
Exactly. Who don't
we have?
You want Zeke? You want Zeke in that same game? You want Keenan Allen? Mike Evans, probably the only capable wide receiver left on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for Tom Brady to throw to against the 31st ranked Washington defense.
Yep, I don't hate that.
I do. I like that a lot.
Yeah,
I like that a lot. So we're one off in Mike Evans in this lineup as your flex. We got Jonathan Taylor and now we got 0. We got 0 buckets left, but we got 600 buckets left. So maybe upgrade Marvin Jones a little bit here.
Sure.
Let's see. Yeah. Oh, we could also upgrade Cameron Brate too. But let's see if right here, Pity City. Slide him in. Right? Like, I don't know, man. Like, this is this type of lineup that you like to see. You got probably the number 1 running back on the week. Matt Ryan, week 9 was the number 1 quarterback on the week. Cordell Patterson finds a way to score. You like the Cowboys receivers in there. We got double stacked on the 2 likely tight targets for Tom Brady to throw to in that Tampa Bay game. This is one of those lineups that you just see and you go, geez, that kind of makes a lot of sense. I don't know. But there's just a ton of value to be found in here. Let's try and do another one. Go a different way, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. So let's we got a couple other pass catchers we talked about. Somebody we mentioned earlier. In that very small target tree in Jacksonville. Jamal. We got a pass interference.
In the end zone.
Here comes that Myles Gaskin touchdown.
Jalen Waddle.
Yep.
Jalen Waddle drawing the flag. Let's see. Is it really a flag though?
That's offensive pass interference.
Yeah, it does look it. No. He's got him. Yeah. He got tangled up. He got his arm tangled up. Oh, Humphrey. He's a good player too.
Yeah,
he's too bad. Yeah, that was an uncatchable ball a little bit. I don't know.
That's a tough call. That's a tough call in my opinion. But so we talked about. So we talked about another guy that's in that target tree with Dan Arnold. And that's Jamal Agnew. Over the he is
we like him.
100% taken over as the slot receiver in this offense. And as the slot receiver, he is the guy responsible for getting that ball and getting a ball quickly. Maybe we won't get that Myles Gaskin touchdown, but
no, we will not.
5 targets last week, 12 targets the week before, 6 targets the week before that, 7 targets the week before that. He is 100% taken over as a vital part of this offense.
Let's pay all the way down. Let's pay down on all wide receivers here.
Sure. All right. So
let's see what we can do.
So I'm loving myself some Jamal Agnew. Kind of down there in that same price. We want to stay down in that 4,700. How about some Peoples Jones?
Yes, I like that call.
Go ahead and take that.
Yeah, I like that call. Peoples Jones. I don't like the matchup, like you said, against the Patriots, but and I'm not being a homer by saying that. But I do like Donovan Peoples Jones as being a new target, fresh face for Baker. That's a good one.
What do you think of finishing that one off with Mr. Julio Jones? Marshawn Lattimore all over AJ Brown.
I honestly would, but how do you look past 2 touchdowns? Zacharias,
yes.
4,400.
The New Jersey native.
Yeah, I mean, Alamides Zacharias, 20 fantasy points, basically on 2 touchdowns.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Tough call.
Yeah. Is he in?
No, that's a false start.
The Dolphins, they stink so bad. The Dolphins stink so bad. Seriously. Oh my God, guys. Come on. That's just sloppy.
So I mean, you want to talk about somebody who fits really well into a value stack with Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
Last week, 2 touchdowns. Another guy, that fits in with that is Russell Gage. Gage only at $5,000. Again, if you're going to be, building a Matt Ryan stack, those are guys you're going to want to attach with him for sure.
Russell Gage, by the way, we did call out to him last week a couple times on the shows and in the article. I think he ended up with a pretty decent game. Didn't have a touchdown, but definitely 80 yards, ton of targets. So, somebody was listening to us in Atlanta. The thing about paying all the way down at wide receiver all the way, right, is that, again, we come to the tight end room. And your most expensive tight end's $5,800. So you can literally come in here and get Dawson Knox,
right?
$4,500 staying in this game. We're not stacking here. We're just literally playing pricing, right? And so now we got $4,500. I mean, if you wanted to, you want to stay in this range. Let's play the Steelers against Detroit, or let's play the Bills against the Jets. So let's say Bills against the Jets, right?
Yeah,
big bounce back game for the Bills.
Yep.
Division rival, right? So here we go. So Bills against the Jets is $4,000. All right, now we're gonna go flex. We're gonna find a great play for the same price in the flex, same price range here. We're gonna come down in here. Oh boy, there's a ton here. We're not playing Kenneth Gainwell ever again. Here's this guy here, right? Dearness Johnson, prime time chalky Dearness Johnson at 4,700. All right, so now we get 7,700 left to spend.
Oh my goodness!
Who is it? Oh, it's a lineman. Oh, what speed! That's a touchdown. That is a touchdown. That is a touchdown. Was he eligible?
I don't know.
Uh-oh, flag. Here we go, flag.
My man went for it though.
Dude, look at this guy.
Look at this guy.
Oh my!
That
is a touchdown right there. That's a touchdown.
Goodness!
What?
Stand on your head for it, sir.
And by the way, what poise it is to extend the ball
what
like
athleticism!
That. Yes.
Wow.
I love it. Look at Gesicki. Look at him being like, I wish that was my ball. Look right there. There's Gesicki. Oh, that should have been me.
Was he eligible? He's a guard. He's the guard.
I don't know. We're not really listening to the game. If anybody knows if he was declared eligible, please let us know. But he must have been. I mean, that looked like a designed play.
Was the guard?
That literally was a guard screen.
You can't be eligible as the guard.
Yeah, but that was like a guard screen.
No.
Here we go. What's the call?
Illegal touching of the pass. No. Yeah. He would have to be at the end of the line.
Right. True.
You know what I mean? Like
true.
Yeah.
True.
Or at the he'd at the very least he'd have to be at the end of the line, or it'd have to be one guy, one receiver, kind of covering over him. So which, I don't even know why he's turning to catch the ball. Like,
well, I mean,
who are you, sir?
I don't know. He just wanted a moment. That's all. He wanted
his moment. He got his moment forever. I'll tell you that.
Look at him, outstretched arm.
Wow.
Outstretched arm. Like, I mean,
sheesh.
He's been watching film, this guy.
I don't even know what to say right now. Get that man a touchdown sometime in his career.
Yes, please.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, please. All right. So let's go back to this. Let's go back to this $4,000 build where you have saved up all the way to $7,700. Yes. All right. So who can we get at QB for $7,700? Let's see. Right here. There he is. Tom Brady. 7,600. Now we get 7,750. What do we have here? It's 7,750. We already talked about a couple guys here. I'll take Austin Eckler at 7,600. This is a completely non-stacked lineup.
Just one-off monsters.
But are you telling me that you don't want Najee Harris in that game against Pittsburgh? I mean, against Detroit.
You know the fantasy law. Play your running backs against Detroit.
Especially ones that get 100% of the work.
Yep. With Benny Snell getting 2 snaps a game. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, okay, so now look at this lineup, right? We spent all value. We paid all the way down. Maybe we paid down a little bit too much. Right? We can probably upgrade some of this stuff.
We can upgrade a little bit here and there.
We can take the Bills down a notch, I guess, in the defensive category there. Let's take a look at you know what? I'll take a shot again at the who did I say? The Lions against Pittsburgh. Right. Mm-hmm. All right. We have 1,700 left, so maybe we should upgrade Peoples-Jones in that matchup against the Patriots. I don't feel as warm and fuzzy on that. We got Tyler Lockett against Green Bay. We got there's Pity City again. Mm-hmm. Let's see, DJ Moore against Arizona. Devonta Smith against Denver. I don't mind that. I don't know. Where do you want to go?
No, I mean, let's see. I mean, I like that Tyler Lockett call. I mean, let's plug in Tyler Lockett right there. I think he'll be a low owned type of player this week.
Totally one off, no stacking, no correlation, just pricing. That's it.
Yep.
And not a bad lineup. Actually, not a bad lineup at all.
Yeah, and it just goes to show how, some of the pass catchers really help you drive down some of those prices to get, the running backs who are going to touch the ball a lot. I mean, Austin Eckler and Najee Harris, two very high floor, type players. Yeah. And then you going into the, the pass catchers who, Jamal Agnew and Tyler Lockett, high target guys.
Sure.
It's not a bad lineup at all. Not a bad lineup in a non-traditional way to build it for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally just looking at pricing and saying, what can we do? And in my philosophy, when I build the Million Maker lineup, as you know, is always to try and keep in mind the best possible play I could on a team or a price. And this week, just the way that the prices are structured and where they're starting at, you just have so much to pull from. So. We're kind of building stacks at the same time we're doing this, and we're kind of flying by the seat of our pants. We're in commercial right now on Thursday Night Football. We just saw offensive tackle make an outstretched arm goal line play, which was incredible. Will definitely be in highlight reels, but illegal.
Very illegal.
And through all that, the amazing thing is through all that, really the score hasn't changed.
No, no, it hasn't.
It's pretty bad.
There's one thing I've noticed and unfortunately, both of them have been on the Miami Dolphins side of the football. Mm-hmm. Very, very low IQ plays by a lot of these players. Yeah, just very low IQ.
Yeah, look at how proud he is.
So proud.
Look at how proud he is. He's like, I know I shouldn't have got that ball.
At no point in his career has he ever been, been told, "Hey, we're gonna send you out there for a pass." But
I think that he knows he's gonna be on SportsCenter. You know what I mean? Like he knows. Like there's no way they could avoid me. Let's talk about some maybe some ownership stuff here, since we have about 14 minutes of one of the absolute drizzling shit of a game I've seen in a long time on prime time. Here's some ownership stuff I'll touch on. What is incredible to me is the bounce back ownership that Josh Allen is receiving. Now we have to look back to week 8, and if you actually remember, Josh Allen made all of his points in the fourth quarter of that game. So it's really 2 weeks in a row where we just have not seen Josh Allen do Josh Allen things. But he's still going to be an extremely popular play this weekend. How do you feel about Josh Allen in going into New Jersey, into the Hornets' nest known as the with the Jets?
So I will I will use a term that I believe I used last week. Josh Allen is going to leave New Jersey a piece of scorched earth.
Okay. I like
it. He's got an MVP case to recapture.
Yeah.
Currently he is the betting favorite, tied with Tom Brady.
Yeah.
For the NFL MVP. And I think this is the week where the sky is the limit for this man.
Yeah, I do. I agree. And I actually really like the stack of Josh Allen with his best friend coming back, Dawson Knox. I think a lot of people will go immediately back to Diggs. Maybe they'll get some Emmanuel Sanders or Cole Beasley. I like this stack, though. The Jets are a lot worse than their rankings suggest against tight ends. And Dawson Knox even throws passes. So I like this. I like that stack there. This is a situation too. Is I don't necessarily think you need to stack I don't think you have to run anything back with a Jet. I mean, maybe Michael Carter. That maybe the only run back I could think of. But I have no interest in Jets. Yeah, I really don't know because Corey Davis I think is going to come back, right? So Corey Davis is back on the field. Does Elijah Moore's targets go back down?
And it really depends on who's the quarterback for. I mean, I guess it's supposed to be Mike White, but
it's supposed to be Mike White. And if it is, I mean, certainly the Jets are in a better position than with Trevor Lawrence, at least the last time we saw Trevor Lawrence.
And if I'm not mistaken, there were 9 people in the box right there on that play for Miami.
Yeah.
And they still ran a quarterback run or a little pitch pass here.
Yeah, I got to tell you, the Ravens play calling tonight on a whole has been putrid, absolutely putrid.
Yes. The first half, I believe you called out about 3 or 4 times they ran the same wide receiver screen, on the same drive. It's incredible.
And then after being stopped, they came back on first down and played it again.
Yeah,
and probably the only reason why they got a first down is because the Dolphins there's no way they're playing that same thing again, are they? Lost the ball. That's a fumble. That's a fumble, folks. That's a legitimate
return
fumble.
to the house. That is your fumbled pick over.
There we go.
6. That is your slate breaker. That is your. I hope you played a Miami defense in the captain position. That is a slate breaker.
I have one of those lineups.
Xavier and Howard. Look at him, huh?
Here's the thing. Yeah.
They might
1,
not
2,
a catch.
3. Well, I don't know. Dude, he made a football move.
I don't know if he secured it, though.
No, he had 2. Hold on. He had 2 steps, and he made the spin, which is a football move. 1, 2.
I don't know.
And then he spins.
I don't know.
That's a catch. That is a catch.
Wait. Yep. That's
1.
All right. That's a catch. That's
2.
That's a fumble.
3. Football move
Miami.
and script. Yeah,
Goodbye.
that's a catch.
Goodbye,
that is
Baltimore.
Definitely a catch. Oh, guess who it is? Sammy Watkins.
Mm-hmm.
Terrible.
I bet you Sammy Watkins is going to be hurt this week.
I bet you Sammy Watkins. Yeah. Sammy Watkins. Have you ever? Can I just sidebar this? Do you follow Sammy Watkins on Instagram?
I can't say I do.
Yeah, that's a good follow.
I'll have to look into it.
That's a good follow.
That's
all I'm gonna say. Starship Watkins.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll have to check it out.
There's inspirational quotes abounding out of that Instagram thing. If you're not following Watkins, hold on. Let me find the Sammy Watkins Instagram so I can officially plug it here for the people that are watching us.
And while you're doing that, we'll talk about the one more guy in the value, in this game, this Buffalo New York game. With Zach Moss being concussed currently, Devin Singletary is in a position that he could take over as the number 1 running back, and the New York Football Jets, if I'm not mistaken, are the worst defense in terms of running backs. So if Zach Moss is officially ruled out, I am 100% going to ride with Mr. Devin Singletary at 4,700.
I like that too. Yeah, absolutely. If there's no Zach Moss, Singletary is going to be the chalk, not Dearness, but Johnson.
Yeah. You know what? You might be right. Between the two of them, they might garner 70%. 35% each or something like that. So, but those are two guys who, if you're going to pay down, those are guys who are going to probably have some of the most opportunities, and that's what you're looking for. You're paying for opportunities.
Now, to be fair, Sammy Watkins, when he was on the Chiefs, his Instagram handle was Starship Watkins. Okay. But he's moved it back to Sammy Watkins now. However, right underneath his profile picture is a hashtag Limitless14. Yep. You know what his limit is?
Is it limitless?
Holding onto the ball in the middle of the field. That's his limit. That is his limit.
That is his limit. His limit is playing 6 consecutive weeks. That's his limit.
Yeah, it does look like he might have taken things down, but for a very long time there was a constant stream of Sammy Watkins quotes.
Yes.
And it was kind of like dumb John Morrison. Like that's the best way I could put it. Like, dumb Jim Morrison, Jim Morrison stuff.
I know what you meant.
You know what I mean? Thinking about the wrestler.
WWE. Right.
Dumb Jim Morrison is the best way I put it. But Starship 14 when he was on the Chiefs was a trip. So anyway, yes, I digress. We're back to this Josh Allen, Dawson Knox pairing here. We don't really want to run it back with a Jet. So another fun thing I like to do when I don't have a game to run it back with is to secondary stack another game within this shell, right? So one of the games that I'm really, really keened in here on a little bit is this Seattle Green Bay game, mainly because we don't know if Aaron Rodgers is coming back, right? Sure. So I love Davante Adams against the Seattle Seahawks. I just always love that matchup. If it's not Aaron Rodgers, we're going to move him out. But for right now, we're going to put Davante Adams in there. But we also do know that Dak Prescott is coming back. Russell Wilson is coming back.
Right.
And we didn't really even talk about this, but DK Metcalf is under $7,000 in this game with Russell Wilson potentially coming back. This is a heck of a stack right here, in my opinion. Davante Adams, who ended up in the flex, I don't know why. Davante Adams and DK Metcalf stacking that game. And that's a really cool way to secondary stack what probably is going to be a high-scoring affair. And we're already banking on Josh Allen to deliver the goods against Jacksonville. And so with 45-58, this is more of a traditional way that we have built things back up a little bit. I'm going to move Davante Adams to the other wide receiver spot just so we can utilize the flex to help save up. But what do you think of this build as we're building it right now?
No, absolutely. I love the games that you're attacking. I think that that Seattle could certainly be poised for a strong week. As they get their leader back and Russ looks to get to cooking again. And really show what Seattle's been missing. So, but we want to talk about the games with the highest scoring prediction. We've got the Falcons and the Cowboys game, the over/under at 54.5.
Absolutely.
We have the Chargers and the Vikings game, which is a game I would really am looking to attack this week at 53, which I think there's a ton of pass catchers, to go after in this game. To whereas I think we could even get some of the third wide receivers and the second tight ends, that we talked about earlier in the game. Some of those touchdown dependent, plays really paying off, in these games. But the Green Bay Seattle game, if Rodgers and Wilson, are both coming back, even though it's right now at a 48.5 over under, that could easily be a game that, they're both playing in the 30s.
I agree. And one thing that I really like this week, and I just think he's going to go under owned. He went under owned week 9 big time. I think it might be the pricing. I don't know, but is Dalvin Cook, who we listed earlier in another lineup. But if we're going to attack Minnesota and LA, we know that LA is a bit of a run funnel. Mm-hmm. So you have Dalvin Cook likely to get some play. And then on the LA side, I think this is a game that this might be a Mike Williams comeback game, right? I don't know. When you look at just how the Minnesota Vikings defense has been playing lately, why wouldn't the Chargers want to take a couple shots on their big outside guy?
I do, and I mean, there's a reason why Justin Herbert's the third or fourth quarterback priced, because this is going to be a big week, for the Chargers offense.
Yeah,
they've got Minnesota traveling west. Minnesota is going to be out of the dome. They've been struggling. They've been giving up a ton of points. They just gave up almost 300 yards and 30 points to the Baltimore Ravens. And here comes Justin Herbert, pretty angry, about what's been going on lately.
Super angry.
He
just seems like one of those guys who rips phone books in half.
But I think it's going to be a huge bounce back game for Mike Williams. One of those 2 touchdown, type of games for Mike Williams as, he gets a little healthier. And I do believe Keenan Allen coming in with a Q tag this week. If for some reason Keenan Allen is to miss this game, that would only boost up Mike Williams even more.
Yeah, and certainly you could also go the other way. You could put Austin Eckler where Dalvin Cook is, and then you could put an Adam Thielen or Justin Jefferson where you have Mike Williams there. I think that again. I think who we were talking about earlier, the Tampa Bay run defense, I think is a little bit inflated based off of matchups. I think also the Chargers passing defense is a little bit inflated due to matchups. Just look at the Patriots game as kind of an example. So I think that you could flip flop that Austin Eckler and Justin Jefferson say. But yeah, I agree. It's going to be a high scoring game. The thing is that I really want to get to though is now all of a sudden it's the average remaining salary of $27.66, and we have a running back, a flex, and a defense to try and figure out. So we're obviously the first thing we're going to do is lock in our defense. And in a line, oh no, I know. Oh no way. Fumbleitis.
Yeah.
I don't want anyone to question me again.
This means you're going to be on
Northern teams, when it gets colder in the north, cannot play teams in Florida. They can't. They cannot play in those games.
1 for 11 on third down. That's rough.
Yeah,
that's rough. And again, more terrible play calling, in my opinion.
Absolutely the Ravens have no one to blame but themselves. Whoever that play call, whoever has that book, and I can't think of the gentleman's name. I normally would know it because he had such high praise earlier in the season for his analytic mind. But I mean, man. All right, so we have 27.66 left. What I would do here is, believe it or not, I would probably take a shot at the Jags down here. Okay, now we're saving up. We're at 33,050. We still have to get a running back. Don't worry. I know where I'm going with all of this. But so we got to come all the way down here in the flex and figure out what to do. But the funny thing about the flex is the tight ends, they just keep getting cheaper and cheaper, right?
Yep. You play a tight end. That's what you do.
So this will be most likely a double tight end lineup, but we talked about a guy over here for 2,500. I can't find him right now. I apologize for that. But if I could find him, I'll just type his name in. Harham.
Oh my goodness.
2,600. And we have 3,500 left to find a running back. That might be tough.
That might be Be damn near impossible, sir.
Yep, it's gonna be tough.
I might pay down Dawson Knox, probably save like another, $1,000 or so.
Well, the thing is, I like that pairing of Dawson Knox. I think what I'll do though is I might actually switch out Mike Williams and Dalvin Cook, and I'm gonna switch them out for Austin Eckler in the same game. Austin Eckler saved $400 there. And I did see this, and I was surprised. But Adam Thielen is 6,700.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm at 3,800. Okay, so now I got to figure out where else I got to pay down at. Let's see. Devontae Adams and DK Metcalf. So maybe DK is questionable. So let's look at Lockett here. Come on, Lockett. Did I ever tell you the time I was at a fantasy football draft and one of the guys that I was in the draft with, he got to this is I think Tyler Lockett's rookie year. He gets to Lockett, or he gets to his last play on the day, and he struts up like a turkey, and he's like. And he goes and takes the thing from the board and he puts it down. And he goes, Tyler the Rocket Lockett.
Who no one's ever called him that. Oh, wow. Wow. Shame on you. Shame on you, Patrick Queen. You should have picked that. You should have just got on the ball. You should have just fell on the ball, sir.
Lucky.
That's the downside to making a left-handed quarterback roll right.
Yeah.
Okay. That's just.
Wait a minute. Hold on. I swear to God, I saw this player earlier. I talked about him earlier.
Who are we talking about?
Talked about him earlier.
Oh, Giovanni, 4,300.
Oh, he's 4,300.
Close.
Oh, I thought he was 4,100.
No cigar. Now it's time to pay down Dawson Knox. Go get yourself some Pat Fryermuth in your life. There goes Myles Gaskin.
Well, yeah, but who am I gonna do? Who am I gonna do with Josh Allen?
Then you got no Josh Allen, combo. I got you. Let's see. What can you do to get yourself?
You know what I would do here? I might get rid of
go down and go to Manny Sanders.
I might get rid of Lockett.
Go to Manny Sanders or Cole Beasley.
Yeah, and I might get rid of Dawson Knox.
Oh man.
I might get rid of this.
The most right now.
I might get rid of this.
Just clear the whole damn lineup at this point.
Yeah, we're blowing this whole thing up. I might get rid of Thielen.
Nice catch.
All right, now we got TB Washington. All right, so I might come in here and go Terry McLaurin.
Every time Isaiah Ford touches the ball, he does too much.
He's gold.
He does too much.
Stay gold, pony boy. All right. So now we got Terry McLaurin in here. Now I'm going to go running back. Let's see. Who else did I like in here? Oh, yeah. Where is he? Why can't I find him? There he is. Oh, he's more expensive than Eckler? But you know who isn't more expensive than Eckler?
Aaron Jones?
No. Get rid of this guy. Here we go. Fournette. 6,100.
Playoff Lenny.
All right. So now we stack Fournette and McLaurin, right? So now we're going to get back to the Green Bay Seattle game. 5,600. We'll go back to Lockett. Tyler, Rocket.
The Rocket Lockett.
Lockett. There we go. 6,500. And what do I have left?
45 or so.
4,700. Now I'm in the money.
Bernard.
Now I'm in the money, buddy. Here we go. Whoa.
Devin Singletary. Look at that. Now you've got somebody else for your Josh Allen stack.
Now I feel
Ta-da!
good. Ta-da! That took almost an entire quarter.
And then they just coffin cornered him and punted it in the 1 yard line.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
You love it.
All right, man. Listen, I want you to do what I just did. Experiment with a lineup while I go get a Coors Light. Start talking about what you're seeing on the screen or whatever. I got to get a Coors Light. We got 7 minutes left in this silly game here. Plenty of time for you to Frankenstein a lineup the way I just did, and I'm very interested to see your how you are gonna partake. But for now, chat about this game while I go get my Rocky Mountain Cold, please.
Oh yeah, this game. What this game does for me is that it takes a hit onto Lamar Jackson's MVP case. One of the big things that I heard coming into this week was, how Lamar Jackson was going to, kind of put a stamp on him being an MVP candidate. He's been throwing for more yardage than he has, any time in his career. He's still maintained the same amount of rushing stats that he's had, and to think that he has improved on his numbers from his MVP season, and now in this game, to severely struggle against a very poor Miami defense, it's baffling, to see. It really is. We talked about, how poor the play calling is, and I don't know if it's I don't know if maybe they're missing, missing some component that I don't know about. Yeah. But I don't remember seeing this vanilla of an offense, and I also just noticed that the Miami Dolphins have like embroiders on their thigh pads. And one of them is their number, and the other one's the logo of the Dolphins. And it's hands down the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's kind of neat. Yeah.
But anyway, so so to get back in, into the lineups.
Can I just say an observation I've noticed?
By all means.
I don't think they've run the ball in a quarter and a half. The Baltimore Ravens.
I agree with you, and that's why Lamar Jackson throws everything sideways, because when he throws overhand, he throws it directly into the ground. And if they're gonna give him a roughing the passer call, that's terrible.
Oh, come on, seriously. Let's see here.
Oh, because he lands on him. He drives his weight onto him.
Drove him into the ground.
Yep. He drives.
You can't do that. You can't do that no more.
Yep. And as soon as he lands, he's like, fudge. Mm-hmm. But he didn't say fudge.
Yeah.
So anyway,
look at the poor Dolphins walking backwards.
Terrible.
The Dolphins should win this game. I hate to say it, because I think they're awful, but they should win this game.
They're going to win this game.
Well, they might. I mean,
they're up 2 scores, aren't they? Yeah.
That could be that roughing passer, though, could be the matchstick that lights the fire.
Unless they strike for a big play right now, it's just they're not running the ball like you said. So
I literally don't think they've run the ball this entire half once, maybe once.
You might be right. That's terrifying. So so for me, the lineup, I talked about how I'm going to rock with Dak. So for me, I'm gonna kind of take a look and to see what a Dak lineup looks like for me, and what kind of values or what kind of numbers I'm going to be looking at, starting out, with a Dak Prescott stack, and I said this week I'm going to be pretty big on CeeDee Lamb, to pair with him, and to be honest with you, I think Zeke, is coming in with a knee injury that, frankly, I'm not all that concerned about. But I think the 3 of them could be poised for, he was down. Almost another fumble, almost another turnover for this Miami defense.
Down. Yeah, it was down.
But it looks like that knee did hit. Putting Dak, Zeke, and CeeDee Lamb, who are very high priced at each of their positions, leaves you with 48.50, at each position, which isn't the worst.
Nope.
It's not
better than when I was left at.
Yeah, absolutely. So, once we incorporate that tight end and that defense, pardon me, I think that number is going to be looking a lot better.
You want to go there now? You want to do those now?
Yeah. Let's fill in the tight end, and for this lineup, I'm gonna go ahead and put Mr. Dan Arnold in there.
Ah, yes.
So at 3,500, that's going to boost me up a little bit.
Yep.
For the defense, I am going to I'm going to take the Carolina Panthers defense in the hopes that Kyler Murray does not play. Okay. If he does play, we can switch that up. I'm sure.
I think there might have been another flag here.
I think there is going to be another flag from hitting him on the head.
Yeah, helmet to helmet.
Wow,
helmet to helmet.
Oh, I guess 15 yards really helps your team move the ball down the field. Well, I guess 30 yards in penalties really help you move the ball down the field.
As I'm sure they've said by now on commentary, the Dolphins are going to beat themselves.
Yeah, that's what's going on right here. Because
certainly
isn't the Baltimore offense. That's
yes, if that Baltimore offense continues looking like that, no, they will not. No, they
certainly will not. Is not the Baltimore offense. But
holy smokes!
All right, so then we throw in the Panthers defense, and realistically, anything in that 2,500, 2,400 range, there's a couple of teams, down in there. Mm-hmm. Gets me almost $6,000, to play with, and that gets you into oh my god, a run!
No way!
I forgot Devontae Freeman was on the team.
I know, so did he.
So anyway, once we get that in, that's going to help me get some of the guys who I wanted to pay up and get to in that lineup.
So where you want to go next?
I wanted Najee Harris, in this lineup. That's that's 7,900 to kind of fill in my other running back position
against the terrible Detroit Lions.
That's correct.
Would be kill a game.
I'm going to take Michael Gallup coming back in this game as I think Cooper. I don't think Cooper's healthy right now. I know that he's got a questionable tag right now. But I feel like that's a little bit more of a real, questionable tag than some of the other players, that have Q tags around the league.
Well, I mean, let's just take a look at Gallup for a second, though, right? We only saw him in week 1.
Right.
But with both Lamb and Cooper healthy, he had 7 targets before he left the game.
Sure did.
So even if he comes back, $4,000. If he gets 5 targets, he catches 3 of them for 50 and maybe a score. $4,000. You just paid him. He's just paid his salary off.
Wow.
Well, that was a good catch.
That was a good catch. I mean, realistically, it looks like Greg Roman, who is the offensive coordinator.
That's the guy. Thank you. Thank you.
I looked him up earlier.
I could not remember his name.
It didn't just come to me, but. But yeah, it seems like he's reduced Lamar Jackson to, in this game at least, to a 2-stop 3.
Now I want to point this is 1st and goal, and they have an empty backfield. So they're not even disguising. Oh, wow.
What the hell was that?
I don't know, but that was great. Mark Andrews touchdown.
I guess we'll take that Lamar Jackson to Mark Andrews touchdown, and it's all of a sudden a game again.
Guess who called? Mark Andrews due for a touchdown tonight.
Yes, you sure did. You sure did. He's had a pretty good game this week.
Not bad. But look at this. It's kind of like he's. I think he's doing a little fake out right here.
A little
pump fake.
That was good. Who is the safety expecting to take him?
Yeah, but no. Look, he does a little pump fake, and the safety thinks he's going a different way.
No, the safety looked behind him like he was expecting somebody else to be in that zone. That was
weird. Could have been.
Was weird.
Could have been. Anyway. I don't know.
But anyway, so
it's the Dolphins.
I'm stuck. So I got 56.50 left to fill a wide receiver in a flex position. To me, that's a pretty dang good number.
Yeah. Hold on. Go ahead. Sorry, it just occurred to me that the Ravens only had 3 points on the board.
Yes.
So the Dolphins could still win this game.
Yes, the Dolphins are still winning. They're still ahead. They're very much ahead. If Myles Gaskin,
I completely forgot. The Ravens only had 3 points on the board.
Yes.
Jesus.
If Myles Gaskins can somehow, move the ball, then maybe they'll put this game away. But not a lot of hope.
Yeah,
a lot of hope.
Yep.
So, all right. So looking at this game, one other guy I wanted, that we mentioned a little bit earlier that I'm going to go ahead and pay down on is Tyler Johnson.
Okay. Interesting.
Of the
Tampa Bay
Bucks with Chris Godwin out. I think he's somebody who Tom Brady, kind of like how Cedric Wilson is, for the Cowboys. He's just a guy they design a couple of plays for, every game. With that extra opportunity, he's a guy who could, who could definitely get you some return on that 3,300. And then that leaves me with $8,000.
$8,000, man.
$8,000 to fill in for my flex.
Yep.
And I could go with Dalvin Cook. I could go with Devontae Adams. I'm not touching AJ Brown this week with the Marshawn Lattimore Island.
Okay.
I'm of all of those. I
got to tell you, Marshawn Lattimore did not look good against the Atlanta Falcons last week at all.
He did, and realistically, that's a tough assignment for him because there's nobody like if Calvin Ridley's on the field, Marshawn Lattimore has a much more impact, on that game.
Yeah, but I would think that your friend and mine, O'Maidy's Zacharias, has 2 touchdowns, and Russell Gage catches 80 yards of passing.
Yep.
I would say that the Saints defense as a whole might have missed the boat a little bit there. I don't know, just me.
Sure. No. I listen. I don't disagree at all. In my opinion, I would generally stick away from Marshawn Lattimore.
Yeah. Just has that badass name.
So yes, they do. Zacharias and Russell Gage, little smaller receivers, quicker receivers.
Yeah.
To whereas, oh my goodness.
Who is it?
All right, this game is that looks like Albert Wilson, maybe.
Yeah, that's Albert Wilson.
Albert Wilson. What a game for Albert Wilson, huh?
$400 on DK tonight. Mentioned him.
Wow.
Mentioned him. I want to point this out, man. If you're not reading our stuff, you are missing the boat. I'm not kidding.
So
I am not kidding.
Yeah, man. So $8,000. I'm gonna go ahead and plug. I'm gonna plug my friend and yours, Mr. Devontae Adams, in there.
Devontae Adams.
I feel like he's
probably not going to be that cheap again.
No, and I feel like he's very, very due for a game. I mean, last week he had 14 targets, but that was from Jordan Love. He's due for that 2-touchdown game. Has he had a 2-touchdown game yet this week or this year?
I don't think so. No, and he's had a couple of down games, and including a big game last week without his man Aaron Rodgers in.
Right.
So he himself missed a week through COVID. So
yes, he did. So I'm thinking here this is the 2-touchdown Devontae Adams week that helps him get back onto the top end of the wide receiver leaderboards statistically.
I like this lineup because you're really banking on Dak and the Cowboys making a response
right
after last week. I think Najee Harris just should be an automatic lock and load against the Detroit Lions there. And yeah, I'm a big Devontae Adams guy, so I love that pick. Nicely done.
Thank you, sir. And it gives me $100 if all of a sudden Kyler Murray does play on Sunday. It gives me a little bit of flexibility with with my defense.
Yep.
But yeah, maybe I end up going with those Lions guys, like you had said. Even though that Najee Harris lines. How do you feel? I don't feel as strongly as I think you do about playing a defense and against some of the offensive or maybe one offensive player that you have.
I don't ever play a defense against if I'm rostering a quarterback. I don't ever play a defense against them.
Okay, sure, I can see that.
I just think that at quarterback it's so volatile. Pick sixes and fumbles and stuff like that. I just feel like you're kind of robbing Peter to pay Paul. You know what I mean? But and I also don't roster opposing defenses when I have the running back that's opposing them.
Okay.
I just also think that too much of a risk that the running back takes over the game, and you don't win with the defense because they just didn't have the same opportunities for an interception or a fumble or any of those things. But if you're just purely playing a single wide receiver, like in a showdown with the defense against that wide receiver, and kind of the rest of the showdown or your lineup, it kind of correlates to the defense. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind that at all.
Okay. Then with that being said, maybe I'd go with Jacksonville in this lineup, but that's beside the point. I'm definitely going to play this lineup.
Yeah, I mean, who are they at home? Jacksonville?
No, I don't believe so.
Oh
no, they're in Indy.
Listen, I'm just going to say this, right? If the Saints have magic in the Superdome, I think this game and in the Buffalo game last week, I think you got to start listening to me. These northern teams playing in a little cold can't go to Florida and play real football. They lose their minds. They don't know what to do. I mean, we're approaching the 2-minute warning here. The Dolphins are threatening 2nd and 4.
And the false start. My goodness.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. The Dolphins are still a terrible team. I want to point that out. The Dolphins did not get better in this game. They're still a terrible team. But in this case, they have certainly outplayed the Baltimore Ravens. In my opinion,
it was the pass catcher himself. That was who was responsible for stifling this drive. But
the guy's got happy feet. You know what I mean?
He certainly does. He's ready to catch another screen pass there.
He literally went on the sideline, texted everyone he knows, and he's like, "Watch SportsCenter tonight."
Ooh, that was a nice run from Gaskin. Probably his best run.
That was a great run. That might have been his best run of the season.
Yeah. Oh man, but anyway, so this is definitely a lineup I'm probably going to play. Maybe I might even play this in the Millionaire, to be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah, I might actually entertain this idea. This is a lineup that if all goes well, and Dak Prescott, let's just say, throws 4 touchdowns and 3 of them are to my guys there.
Yeah.
And then one maybe goes to who knows, Cedric Wilson, or one goes to Dalton Schultz, or Tony Pollard or something like that. You can't get them all.
I do have to wonder, what do you think about the similar to what we were talking about Freiermuth? Juju went down, and all of a sudden, and Ebron went down. Also, Freiermuth kind of the guy.
Yeah.
Do you think that there is any correlation there between Michael Gallup being off the field and kind of Schultz, and to a lesser extent Jarwin, but Schultz definitely becoming a playable fantasy asset with Gallup off? I don't know.
I definitely think that there's some validity to that.
Yeah,
and
that's a touchdown, folks.
I don't believe he got a touchdown, but he definitely moved the chains.
No way.
Definitely moved the chains, so that'll put the game away.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
you are right. Are the Ravens out of timeouts?
No, I believe they have one more timeout. They should run it down.
He's down on the 2. He's down on the 2.
Should run it down to the 2-minute warning. So, but yeah. So to answer your question, I certainly do believe that Michael Gallup. They just used their last timeout. It looks like.
Who, the Ravens?
The Ravens did, yeah.
Wow.
So I do believe there's a pretty strong correlation as the. I would say that Michael Gallup not being there has allowed CeeDee Lamb to run more routes, different routes.
So you think it's you think Gallup's absence has helped Lamb more than it has Schultz?
Correct, because I think they operate in different sides of the field. So I think Gallup he operates mostly on the outside, which is with him being out, you're seeing CeeDee Lamb more in the 2 wide receiver sets. Yeah. To whereas I think you would possibly have seen there's a touchdown. Yeah. That'll put the game away. And as somebody who has Tua, in some of my teams, that's unfortunate to see.
Oh yeah, that's a touchdown. Yeah. Oh yeah, that is a touchdown. Tua.
Yes, it is.
Tua with his broken hand.
Yep. Coming on out, having himself a game, huh? Look at that crap.
Yeah, 21.
We called for it.
Now let's think about this logically. Is 2 minutes left on the clock. Baltimore has to somehow march down the field, which they have not done all night, and score at least a touchdown, and then really, realistically, come back and get an onside kick, right?
Yeah, they need 2 touchdowns. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, wow.
Yeah, that's incredible. What an incredible.
Not too surprising though. No. I have to be honest, not too surprising.
No, but you want to talk about a slate breaker right there? Tua stealing that touchdown when realistically nobody played Tua this. Nobody played Tua tonight. And then as I log on, and probably the person who won the millionaire has fucking Tua in his lineup. Pardon my French.
No, I don't think probably anybody did, because they announced Gaskin they announced Joe Kobe was starting.
Right.
I guess the point is if Tua's got like one of healthy scratch guys, you know what I mean? Or he was benched because of performance, but
he's got 1.24% ownership.
Yeah, I mean,
he's got ownership. He's got more ownership than Isaiah Ford.
Does he really?
He does.
I'm not surprised, but Isaiah Ford was a good play. Albert Wilson was a good play.
Yes, he was. Albert Wilson was a great play.
A
great play tonight. Albert Wilson, almost 15 points, 4 catches, 87 yards, 19 rushing yards.
Yep.
They were looking to get him the ball.
If I'm not mistaken, the total spend out of your lineup between those two was, I believe, $700.
Correct.
Which is insane that those two players were your fantasy studs in this game. I mean, it just goes to show you that the whole of the NFL has any given Sunday or Thursday or Monday, or Thursday or Monday. I mean, anything can happen.
The top scoring player so far would be the Dolphins defense tonight. 16 points from the Dolphins defense, followed by Mark Andrews, who very well could take that over.
Right.
At 15-8, so he does anything this drive, and he'll take that. Same with Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson will more than likely take over that as well, as he's sitting at 15.
Yeah, but I mean, like, look at this, right? Like, they have to, like, this is all the time with the Ravens that bothers the hell out of me. They have no timeouts left. They're on this side of the 2-minute warning, right? You got to make a play there. You do, because you're trying to play catch up. And you're trying to hold on to as much time as possible. And if you make a play there, maybe the clock stops at 198 or something like that. You know what I mean? Or 158, I mean.
Yeah.
But instead they're kind of mulling around, and they're in and out of the huddle. And
I mean, to me, so the thing that with Baltimore being down, 2 touchdowns, and we talked about this before, before they scored the touchdown, and it was 15 to 3.
Yeah,
they just don't have the type of offense that's picking up big chunks of plays. Unless they get a big run, which is typically where they get it from. Yeah. Most of their pass plays, I mean, we see Lamar Jackson, he drops back, he gets the ball out of his hands right away. If he doesn't do that, he's dancing around and going and taking off.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. You're right.
So they just don't have that big chunk ability to score quickly and come back when they're down big.
Yeah, I mean, but I think they should. Can I ask you though? Now that we kind of gotten through some DFS values. By the way, that was DFS values and how to use them to build better lineups. We hope that this helped. We realize, I think. Maybe one person watched this live, so I'm going to assume most people watch this on the replay. I don't know how much Thursday Night Football talk they're going to want to hear, but that's what we decided to do. While we're kind of waiting for this 2-minute warning, although 2-minute warning started, can you look up some of the lines that were on this game? Maybe some of the player props that were there, ones that you thought were locks that were blown up, because I'm very fascinated about the Vegas lines, especially on what was on Miami to win this game.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Well, I can tell you that the Ravens were 8-point favorites. They were 7.5-point favorites coming into the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Meaning that the line was probably somewhere in the range of like plus 300, for the Dolphins to win.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good odds.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Ravens were probably sitting at like minus 400, somewhere in that kind of range.
Yeah.
That's pretty heavy favorites. I mean, some of the player props.
Sure.
I think the over/under on Lamar's passing was like 250.
Yeah.
The over/under on Devontae Freeman's rushing was like 50 yards, I want to say, or 60 yards, somewhere in that kind of range.
Okay.
Definitely, the only people that hit are the guys, like Ford and all that.
Right.
I can't imagine Jalen Waddle. I have to look and see what he ended up doing, because I don't think he did.
We had those two big catches in the third quarter.
4 catches, 61 yards. He actually did hit over his yards. His yards was 59.5.
Oh, nice.
And there's Mark Andrews. Oof, there's Mark Andrews.
There he goes.
But Mark Andrews, he definitely hit over his props as well. He would have been probably the one stud that would have hit over on receptions as well as yardage.
Yeah, I just realized I have a pool going, and I kind of need Baltimore to win this game now. Now that I thought about it.
Well,
so
I don't think it's going to happen there.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen either. But
based off one more Lamar Jackson garbage time touchdown here, what are you doing? I mean, I could have used that as a personal fantasy.
Yeah, I mean,
Devontae Freeman touchdown.
That was just terrible.
That's the kind of thing that goes the opposite way. Goes for 6.
Yeah, the only thing that makes me even madder, though, that it went out of bounds and hit the ground. So that means they kept stop the clock. Because, turn out the lights, baby. Because this party's over for the Ravens. I mean, seriously, say you get a touchdown here, right?
Mm-hmm.
They got to go for 2. I would think they got to go for 2.
Sure.
Right? Because then if they get the onside kick, they only have to go down and get a field goal.
No. They need 4 points. They're down 12.
Oh, they're down 12. Oh, I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, they're down 12. So they would need
2 touchdowns.
Essentially, they would need 2 touchdowns. So going for the 2 doesn't do anything but get you 2 more fantasy points for.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought they were.
The Coors Light does.
I thought they were down 11. Yeah. Okay. Huh.
Realistically, I could go for a nice little Devontae Freeman touchdown. Personally here, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Junk time, Devontae. Devontae Freeman touchdown.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's down here. He's split wide.
Pick.
He is split wide.
He threw a pick.
That's a pick. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Game over, buddy. They got no more timeouts. It's game over.
Yep.
Well, that was Real Deal Fantasy live Thursday.
What a game to pick.
1 hour and 45 minutes of us talking about DFS values for DraftKings in Week 10. We will be back later this weekend, maybe tomorrow night, actually, Friday night, for DFS Stacks. Fortunately, we won't have the Ravens and the Dolphins to extend our banter longer than it needs to. But my friend, it's always been a pleasure. It always will be a pleasure to talk DFS with you. And I'm looking forward to talking stacks. We built some cool lineups tonight. I think we've already kind of started to point directions on stacks that we're looking at.
Definitely tease some tonight.
Yeah. So, hey, listen, I hope you checked out our article tonight, the Thursday Night Football preview. If you didn't, you missed a lot of great value plays that probably hit tonight, including the Dolphins defense. And P.S., if you're a betting man, the northern team's going to Florida in the middle of the winter is not a good idea.
Oh, man.
Good luck in your contest. We'll see you soon. From RealDealFantasyHQ.com, this is Delray Boston, Sean Weymouth, and Maddish like a radish, Lee, last name first on Twitter. Lee, what do we say as we exit?
# make that money. Oh, let's see it. Let's hear it. Oh,
here
new
comes,
outro.
Here it comes.
Bye.